As you've heard, I've had the opportunity recently to be nominated and then awarded the Rick Perkins Award. It's been such a great joy to be able to represent GNTC and the technical college system thus far. I know there's several of you who have heard the speech and are sitting there saying, I hope he doesn't say that one more time. So I assure you, I will not repeat the speech that I've said over 100 times. I have some new material that I've been working on, and hopefully you will laugh at some of it. Of course, if you had an opportunity to hear the speech, you've heard about this little girl, poor girl, she's probably crying in some corner in Chicago. I've used her so many times already, but she didn't want to hold my hand because I was missing 5 fingers. And I've talked about her so much, I feel like I have to thank her. So in honor of her, I am gonna name my coffee machine that I bought with the money that I've won after her. I want to also mention that in my story, I mentioned the struggle of losing my kidney function and not being able to continue what would be a normal lifestyle for many of us and starting a treatment called dialysis. I was lucky enough to have found the perfect match in my life, which was my wife, and was given the opportunity to be a donor, and she donated a kidney to me. Yes, please. I will forever be indebted and grateful to her for her act of love. Obviously could never pay it back. Our story, though, although very unique, I found that as I travel and I speak, it's not very different than many of your own stories. We all have struggles, we all have challenges, and you here are a perfect example of what victory looks like. I know that some of you have struggled to get to this place, and to many of you, today is a dream come true. Well, I share with you that same passion. It is a dream for me to be able to address a graduating class. See, I'm just a kid from Chicago that grew up in the lower parts and the ghetto parts of Chicago, and that was given an opportunity and took advantage of that, which I believe that many of us, that's what's given to us, just the opportunities. My name, like many of your name, was just no different than any other person growing up in our neighborhood. I had nothing special, born to 2 immigrants that did not speak English. I was born in an environment that wasn't favorable for us to graduate. I was put up with different struggles and different challenges. But I've learned something during this journey that I believe I want to share with you today. If I was given an opportunity like this, I've always said to myself, what would I say to a group of people who are fighters, who are warriors, who have beat the challenges and have defeated the odds? And I will tell you that although I speak a lot, it's probably one of the first times I am very humbled and very afraid of looking at your faces staring right at me. I want to start by saying congratulations. I know that many of you struggled, fought, cried, yelled, withdrew from classes maybe. Did a lot of those things that you thought at some point you weren't going to make it. I know exactly what that feels like. I know what it feels like to return home, as I mentioned, after being rejected and running home to figure out, what do I do with my life? See, my biggest struggle at the age of 5 was to discover for the first time that I could not do the itsy bitsy spider. It was a challenge. But I've learned something about challenges. They either make you or they'll break you. And you've confronted those challenges every single semester. I know some of you might have struggled with English 101, guilty as charged, or math 1111, algebra was your tough one. Yes, but you made it. No one can ever bring you back and make you do it again. You did it. The good news is that our college is articulated with all the university systems, so you'll never have to take algebra again. I believe that deserves an applause. Here's something that I've learned about challenges. You either are going to make them your stumbling block or you're going to make them your stepping stool. You're either going to become someone stronger or someone weaker from them. See, I was challenged with being born with one hand, and simple tasks like tying my shoes, cutting a steak, or riding my bike became very complex and hard to do. But I've overcome. I learned how to tie my shoes. Every now and then I do ask my wife to do it because I get lazy, but I do know how to tie my shoes. I do cut my own steak, and I do ride my own bikes. And I've learned to drive a car, and I've done this all by overcoming a challenge, just like you have. And what I've learned from that is that although we think we're doing something for ourselves and to improve ourselves, the reality is you're doing it for a much, much bigger reason for that. Every one of you sitting here have a why you came to school every day, a why you got up every morning to go to that class, to take that class, to pass that course. You have a reason. I don't know what they're called in your life. It could be your family, your children, your daughter, your son. For me, it was definitely two big names. It was Daniel and Leyner Argueta. I got up every morning. And when confronted with the challenge of living on dialysis, there were several times where I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. But those two names kept coming back up, Leyner and Daniel. They kept coming up within my heart, within my spirit. And every time times get tough, I know that there's something bigger than me in this world that I have to continue to fight for. When I was confronted with going to school, I took night classes to start my courses. I took, just like you, I worked a full-time job like many of you did. I had children that I had to supply. You know what I discovered? They don't stop eating. Every week they wanted more and more food, so I had to get out there and do something about it. But I confronted those challenges knowing that this is a bigger purpose to this than me. But I also discovered that my victory became their victory. That see, just like you, we have now set a standard that we can't go back from. We've broken a curse of poverty, a mentality of lack. We have taken the limits away from your children and your family and those that come beyond you. See, I saw my father get up every morning to go to work in a factory that was hot in the summer and cold in the winter. And even when he was sick, my dad got up every morning, he went to work. And every time I felt sick, I remember the standard that he put up there. I remember that level that he set out there. There was no way I can lay back because I had a cold. I had to get up. I had to go to work. Not because my boss was going to fire me, but because my father left the standard that I had to measure up to. And today, you graduates have set a standard. You raised the bar. All those people behind you that are coming after you, they will look up to you. You will be the ruler they measure up to. See, I knew that I had two very smart children because of my wife, obviously not because of me. I like to say they got my looks and they got her brains, but unfortunately the truth is they got both from her. But the reality is my goal wasn't just to graduate so I can put on a tassel and a cap and gown, but it was for them to see that there's a new standard that's been set before them. You and I, graduates of 2019, Georgia Northwestern Technical College, you have set a standard to live to. You are now the measuring stick that people will look up to. Cousins, brothers, sisters, children, family. But more than that, you're leaving a legacy of a fighter, of a warrior, a legacy of someone that didn't give up despite their circumstances, a legacy that it can be done despite your age, your situation, your condition, your sickness, or any disability that might be tossed at you. I quickly discovered that everything we face will either become my stumbling block or my stepping stool. See, I had reached a point where I thought that for the rest of my life, I would be cursed with this thing called dialysis. And I would have to connect to. And I would cry and I would pray and I would say, God, please take this burden away from me so I may do your work. Now, that prayer lasted many years till one day in my sorrow and in my depression, I received a revelation that I thought would change my life forever and has come with me throughout this past. See, I decided to stop living on dialysis. Now, don't get me wrong. Every night I connect to a machine for about 3 hours before I go to bed to stay alive. But I decided to take a different perspective of my challenge. I decided to look at dialysis as a problem that has to live with me, not me with it. Dialysis has to come wherever I go. I don't go where dialysis tells me to go. And I decided to continue to go to school. By the grace of God, I completed my master's degree, not because it was easy, and not without challenges, but despite them. And that's something that I believe, and I look into your eyes and I know that you have the same story. See, one thing I've noticed is after I walk off of these stages, I get the greatest gift that anyone could give me, is you share your story with me. You tell me about your children. I got to meet a man just recently this week. He couldn't talk. His eyes swelled up with tears. And I could see how proud he was of his daughter. And all I did was tap him on the shoulder and I said, "Sir, you don't have to say anything else. Well done, sir. Well done. We are here because you fought." I can't wait till someone tells you, "Well done." It is because of you graduating that I grabbed a dream and a vision that I can do it too. See, many people say the taste of victory is very sweet. But see, I have a different story that I believe you can connect to. For me, the taste of victory is very salty. It is salted by the tears and the sweat of hard work. Nothing has been given to me. Nothing has been handed to me. We had to earn it. We had to fight for it. And just like you, we were this very proud to say we did it. Graduating class of 2019, no one can take education away from you. No one can ever put you down. No one can ever say you couldn't accomplish it. No one can ever say you didn't finish it. From here on out, you are the standard. You are the measuring tape that we use. You are the people we want to say, "Thank you. I want to be like you." See, after failing businesses, after struggling, after losing jobs, after many challenges, what I've discovered is that the secret to success for me, and I hope for you, is to understand that this is much bigger than us. That this is much greater than just me graduating with a degree. See, what's made me happy is defining success by how many people I can bring along with me. That's why I've become a teacher. The passion to teach, it's obviously not because of money, and my faculty members can agree. It's because we love what we do. We love this moment in time right here to see you walk across this stage and to start your journey of victory. See, to me, success is every single person that I can influence to become better, to fight another day, to win another battle, to get another degree, to walk through another stage. So I encourage you, don't forget where you've come from. See, one thing I have very present in my mind is those words that my father once told me: "Vine a este país para darte una mejor oportunidad." I've come to this country to give you a better opportunity. What my father didn't know was that I was not going to stay still and just take that opportunity for myself. I want to share it with as many people as I come in contact with. I want to influence as many that I speak to, and I pray that you do too. I pray that you don't take this as a selfish victory, but that you turn around and that you see all those people out there that took care of your babies, that took care of you, that helped you, that gave you gas money, that gave you a warm meal, that gave you a house to live in, that supported you, because we need them. We need them to continue to fight this good fight of faith. And as I close, with a saying I've had in every office that I've ever used, and I use it consistently in a lot of my speeches. And it's from a man that I shouldn't love because he is the Green Bay Packers' famous coach, Vince Lombardi, and I'm a Chicago Bears fan. So it hurts me that Mike Ditka has not come up with a better saying. But Vince Lombardi looked at his team. He stuck his fingers in their faces. And he would say to them, see, winning is not a sometimes thing. And doing things right is not once in a while. You do things right all the time. You win all the time. You see, winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. Today, I am pleased to tell you, you are winners. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.